Good morning, Billiard Academy. Hey, it's Eric. And last night I introduced for the first time the drill before bedtime. And what I'm going to start to do with that is I'm going to try to upload those as many as I can because I do believe in getting a little bit of practice before you go to bed at night. However, in this video, we're actually going to talk about the other side of my mind is that I also believe that in the morning we should also get a little bit of practice as well. So the night before we go to bed, or the time before we go to bed, we are going to sit there and we're going to just think about these last final balls. And we're thinking to ourselves, okay, I gotta make the ball. Let's focus on just a little bit. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Let's do one nice drill before I go to bed. But in this video, we have to think, man, we just woke up in the morning. We just traveled 3.5 hours to a pool tournament and we got to get our stroke going. We're getting ready to play all day and we just don't know what to do. We're tight. We don't feel well. So this video and ongoing videos as well is going to be my drill in the morning piece. So what I've got here on this pool table, okay, I have got the 9 ball that I'm going to be using as a cue ball. So how to line this drill up. The cue ball here represents the object ball, and it is on the second diamond. You can do this on any size table, and especially if you're going to a bar table tournament, this is really going to benefit you because the 3-rail shot that we're going to shoot is very common in a bar table event. So I have the object ball, which is the cue ball in this case, and it's going to be on the second diamond shooting to this corner pocket, so the middle diamond on this part of the side rail. And the 9 ball, which is going to be our cue ball, comes all the way back down here to the middle diamond on the back half of the side rail, but it's also lined up with this diamond coming this way. So if I drew my cue stick straight down like this, it would line up with this diamond right here. And we're shooting the object ball into this pocket, and we are going to be working with high inside English today. Now, of course, the goal is always to pocket the ball, but what we're really trying to do here is we're trying to group all of our cue balls. So as you can see over here, I have a whole bunch of balls here that I would be shooting in this case. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to build my stroke to apply the same amount of running English to each shot. Now, for those of you who don't know what running English is either high English, a combination of high English and inside English, or straight inside English. What we're going to use is the middle one. We're going to use a combination of high and inside English. So in this case, we're going to be using high right. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to try my best to stay consistent in my cueing. And what I believe to do is to make sure that I am going a 1.5 tips of high and a 1.5 tips of right. So now it's about making sure that we're stroking the cue ball really, really well. And what we're trying to do is deliver the cue ball pretty quick. On a 9-foot, it takes a little longer, so I'm going to have to hit these a little harder. But we're going to travel the cue ball 3 rails. The cue ball is going to strike the object ball and hope to make the ball here, okay? And the cue ball is going to travel 1, 2, 3, and that's going to start coming back towards this corner pocket. So the piece here that we want to try to pick up, of course, like I said, we want to make the ball, but what we're trying to do here is we're loosening up the stroke. The more and more we shoot this shot, the more and more the stroke will loosen, the more and more the ball should start to go in, okay? So cue ball positioning, we're trying to bring the cue ball pretty darn close back to where over the 9 ball is, and we're going to try to group these balls, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shoot a couple, and we're just going to try to build the stroke exercise. This is my morning routine. I haven't hit any ball yet this morning, and now that I got this table in my house, I can really start following what I've always wanted to do. So we're going to put a 1.5 tips of high and a 1.5 tips of inside English, in this case right-hand English, on this ball. So we're going to try to do a minimum, well, we are going to do a minimum of 3 slow pullbacks, and then we're going to try to follow through real smooth on that execution, okay? So let's start off here. So we're going to get into our shot really nice, okay? Now we're going to apply our English. Now, 3 real soft strokes, or real slow pullbacks, all the way back to that spot. 1, 2, 3. Now, when we're ready to go here, we still keep our slow pull back, and we're going to accelerate through the cue ball here. Pull back, follow through. Okay, now what we're seeing here is I want to group these balls with this specific type of speed, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I see the 9. Okay, I'm going to leave the 9 ball there. This is why we're using the cue ball as an object ball. We're using the object ball as cue balls because there's more object balls in the cue ball. So now, I see my group spot, so I'm going to reset back the spot here. I'm going to reset up the same shot again. And now, what I am focusing on is trying to deliver the cue stick the exact same way to the cue ball, so the cue ball hits the object ball in the exact same spot. And we want to try to group these balls in terms of ball speed. You see, we're building our stroke. We're trying to connect our stroke. We're starting to build consistency because we're getting ready to play in a tournament that's 12 hours long. We want to make sure we have consistency in what we're doing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this a second time. And I'm going to try to bring the cue ball around 3 rails. And I'm going to try to get it to just where it's kind of a pocket speed towards the 9 ball. And it might come short, it might come long, but what we want to see is at the end of all these balls, we want to start to see some consistency. We don't really want a big circle. We kind of want to start to get something that's a little small. So if you first start and it's big, well, do this for a week. Continue to work on it and then work on that stroke every single day, and you'll start to see that area start to get smaller. So let's try number 2, and let's see if we can keep the same follow through and the same stroke speed. Again, 3 slow pullbacks, and then a slow pullback and an acceleration. So you're technically pulling the cue stick back 4 times. Okay, I'm set. English applied. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now here we go. Smooth stroke here. Okay, so that's number 2 here, and you can see there's a little bit of consistency. I've got both balls somewhat in the middle of the table, but that one there might have put a little bit more right hand spin on because it spun a little bit. So I'm going to do this 5 times, so I'm going to be quiet here just so you can see the rest of the drill here. I'm only going to do it 3 more times, 5 times total. So let's see if we can set it up here. Let's see if we can get some consistency in the stroke. What we don't want is an outlier, meaning we hit it so hard or so soft that it comes all the way up here or that it comes all the way here. We're really looking for, in this case, with the first stroke, this middle of the table piece, and we're gonna, every time we're gonna try to make that circle a little smaller. All right, so here's number 3. I'm gonna do this 3 more times here. Yep. Okay, so when you miss a shot, set it back up and we shoot it again. So let's say that you decide that you're going to do 15 shots, okay, because there's 15 object balls that you're going to use as cue balls. Okay, that means you got to make the shot 15 times. So if you miss, that's okay. But in the back of your mind, keep track. How many times did it take me to pocket 15 balls while moving the cue ball to the middle of the table in this case? Okay, so I missed that one. So I'm just going to set it up again. Not a very good stroke. I could tell on the follow through that it was not a good deal here. So I still got 2 more times. So let's work even harder this time. Work harder than you did the last time. And so you can see the grouping start to take over here. And this is how you figure out table speed. You keep your stroke consistent, and then based on this particular shot, you can slow down the cue ball by slowing down your stroke speed, and then you can speed up the cue ball by increasing your stroke speed. But you want to find consistency. Okay, last time. Okay. So as you can see here, folks, this little pool of balls here, okay, this is going to be great for you to work to better your game. And like I said, you can use this on any size table, but you just want to make sure that you are keeping a consistent pullback, okay, nice and slow, very controlled, and then you're keeping a consistent follow through. So you're not really trying to speed up the cue stick unless if that's what you're working on, and you're not trying to slow down the cue stick unless if that's what you're working on. You have to build purpose into your practice if you want to excel at this game. Hopefully you like the introduction to the wake up early or the early morning drill, and if you like this, go ahead and give it a like, give it a share, and tell people to join my page, Genesis One Billiard Academy. And I hope you continue to increase in your pool game. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching.